Mayor. My name is Teresa Gonia, and I'm one of the members on the PVDFest team from Mayor Lorz's office. For those of you who don't know about PVDFest, it is a 4-day festival that really transforms the city, especially here in downtown, but with a new tradition this year also going out into our neighborhoods. It's a celebration of art, music, food, and all of the talented curators and artists that we have here in the city of Providence. Artists and performers from not only here in our state, but also from throughout the world will be joining us this weekend for this spectacular event that last year had at least 75,000 people attending, and we expect the same turnout this year. PVDFest officially kicked off this morning with the start of an inaugural Ideas Conference. National innovators and thought leaders from Providence and other places came to explore culture and craft of the makers community. Dorothy Jones-Davis, Executive Director of Nation of Makers, will give the keynote address at the conference in actually just a little while. Here today are so many of our partners that have helped make PVDFest possible. Whether you're curators, artists, my favorite sponsors, or just members of our team, we just want to send a sincere thank you to all of you for making this weekend possible, and especially Mother Nature for the beautiful weather that we will have this weekend. I do also just want to acknowledge that our Director of Art, Culture, Tourism is at our Ideas Conference and couldn't be here, but she does send our best for this press conference. Speaking of people who are partners of this festival, it's my pleasure to introduce someone who really needs no introduction, but is the biggest believer of arts in the city of Providence. He continuously supports branding the city as a creative capital. He believes arts should be connected into everything that we do, and he is the true visionary for this festival. So with that, I'll introduce Mayor Elorza.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. It's June 1st, and that means it's PVDFest. All right. I am really excited about this. You know, the first year that we did PVDFest, I was wondering, would anybody show up? And then we came and people had a great experience. The second year that we did PVDFest, people would ask me, are we doing it again? Is it going to happen this year? Is it a thing? What's going on? So we had it last year and it was a great success once again. So now in year 3, we have a little bit that we're up against, meaning that people have high expectations now. They've come the past couple of years. They've enjoyed themselves. There's a brand behind it. People are expecting something spectacular, and we are poised to deliver this coming week. So I am really excited about all that we have going on. But before I mention anything about what PVDFest is and what it will be over the next couple of days, I want to acknowledge that everything that we do in the city, we partner as much as possible with the community, because it's impossible to do things alone. And if you really want to hit your ambitious stride, you have to form a big tent to make sure that there's room for everyone underneath. You also have to rely on your people. There's so many people who've been working so hard over the past several months to bring this together. And we just heard from my Deputy Chief of Staff, Teresa Odonia. She's emceeing this afternoon and has done a tremendous job working alongside me and the team, making sure all of this is coordinated. Even though she's not here, we also have Stephanie Fortunato, the Director of the Arts, Culture, and Tourism Department, who's incredible, who's been a phenomenal leader, making sure that we're strong boosters of the art here in Providence. Her entire team, as well as the Executive Director of First Works, Kathleen Pletcher, who has been the founding creative partner along with the city and this festival from the very beginning. So we appreciate your partnership, Kathleen. We also have Amelia Rudolph, who's joining us here. She is the Artistic Director and founder of the dance troupe Bandaloop, so we'll be seeing a little bit more from them in just a second. We also have spoken word artist and poet Christopher Johnson, who we'll be hearing from in just a moment. So I can't believe that we're in year 3 of PVDFest. As mayor, I recognize the value that we have here in Providence as the creative capital, and also how valuable the arts, music, and cuisine is to Providence's identity. I see the future of the capital city being one that's driven by the creative sector and by creative placemaking. Kennedy Plaza can and will be transformed into this open air market, this canvas, this venue where citizens can gather, express ideas, enjoy the arts, and there are these types of public spaces that I envision continuing to foment Providence's brand. With this in mind, starting today, we are welcoming thousands of visitors to our city, and visitors will be able to experience these same attractions that will be showcasing cultures from throughout the city and throughout the world. This weekend, downtown Providence is going to transform into an outlet for creativity and for performance. Festival visitors are going to enjoy 800 artists, 15 stages, 30 food vendors, and 11 local arts organizations all partnering together to make this happen. PVDFest has expanded to include its first of its kind Maker Fair, and we're partnering with AS220 and a number of other folks, and invites leading thinkers to explore the boom of creativity in our city and how Providence will become the next home to the maker communities. This is happening right now at Aurora, and it's incredible to see so many people coming together. Providence has a bright future because of our creative and passionate artists. Artists very much like the ones performing and contributing to PVDFest. And so with that said, here are some highlights for this year's festival. Later on today, we'll be shutting down the street and rolling out a 320-foot table where we will literally be breaking bread together at our community dinner. Also, on Friday, nationally known and Grammy-nominated artist named Palo, here from Miami, Florida, will perform right behind us at the Alex Anani Center. And also, nationally known Vanderloop will kick it off, with an off-the-wall performance, literally and figuratively, on the buildings near Kennedy Plaza, in fact, right behind us, during the festival. And then, of course, Saturday afternoon is the big day. We'll kick it off at noon. Please come here early and stay late. At 4 o'clock, we're going to have our zany parade. We'll go on into the night celebrating arts and culture in our city. And then something new that we're doing this year is we're taking PVDFest out into the neighborhoods. We're having a grand finale over at the Armory, at Cranston Street Armory. We're going to have over 500 local musicians. They'll be working together to make that a great experience for all of us to enjoy. Now, a big piece of this festival is shining the spotlight on our local artists. In fact, the only reason we've been able to hold this festival so successfully over the years has been because we have that strong and vibrant local artist community. And each year, we've been highlighting two of our local artists and recognizing them as grand marshals for the parade. And so this year, it is my honor to recognize two local artists who have been delighting crowds throughout our city for many years and have been great boosters and supporters of the creative economy and the creative community. So it is my great pleasure to introduce our two grand marshals for PVDFest 2017, folks who will be leading this year's parade. They are none other than our friends Francis Parra from Echoes Theater and Joe Wilson from Trinity Theater. Please, a big round of applause for Francis and Joe. Thank you to the two of you for everything that you've done to support our local arts community and for always being ready and willing to partner with the city and to partner with youth groups to make sure that we're building the next generation of artists as well. You'll hear from them in just a moment. As always, I encourage everyone here to share the news about PVDFest on social media using the hashtag PVDFest. And for more information, please join us at pvdfest.com, where you can download the entire schedule, get a sense of what you're going to experience. But really, most of all, we invite the entire state and the region to join us for PVDFest. And give yourself a little bit of time to explore, because you don't know what you're going to find around the next turn and around the next corner, but it's going to be amazing. I hope to see you all tonight at the community table dinner, and then at the Steel Yard dance party. Thank you all for supporting PVDFest, and let's have a great PVDFest 2017.
Executive Director of FirstWorks, Kathleen Fletcher. FirstWorks has been our founding partner over the past 3 years, and they have been an integral part of why we have success, why we have had success over the years. As the mayor also mentioned, we will be bringing the festival into our neighborhoods this year, and FirstWorks was a key partner in us securing a grant from the NEA's endowment for that. So without further ado, I just want to acknowledge and thank Kathleen Fletcher and bring her to the podium.
Hi, everybody. As founding partner for PVDFest, FirstWorks is really honored to be working with Mayor Elorza and his vision for the festival, Stephanie Fortunato, and the whole City of Providence team, and really dozens, really hundreds of partners, artists, volunteers, and sponsors. So thank you also to the incredibly dedicated team in the home offices of FirstWorks, who have been working all year side by side with ACT to make this festival happen. PVDFest puts front and center Providence, the creative capital, as fertile ground for artistic innovation, and Providence's rich cultural community, art, performance, design, and food. Festivals are in FirstWorks' DNA. They're more than incredible experiences, though the next 4 days are going to be incredible. They bring people together, they drive the economy, and they build our community. So in year 3, PVDFest's momentum is growing. Among the hundreds of artists and projects, musicians from Cuba, Honduras, Venezuela, Montreal, the public artworks we are developing, there are lots of new traditions in PVDFest. Seeds have been planted. So as you've heard, for the first time on the last day, Sunday, June 4th, we're taking the festival out of downtown to the parade grounds of the Cranston Street Armory neighborhood. It's both the finale and part of a larger project animating the Armory that explores new visions for this castle-like 1907 landmark. A featured project is En Masse by Daniel Bernard Romain, DBR, a cross between a musical happening, a pop-up performance, a processional, with scores of musicians, some of our brightest local stars who've been rehearsing for weeks with Daniel, who's also been working in the schools. So everybody has been very busy, and there are lots of ripple effects from the events. We're grateful to the National Endowment for the Arts for an Our Town grant awarded to Art, Culture, and Tourism, and FirstWorks as the lead partner. It's this kind of game-changing federal funding that made possible FirstWorks Festival on the Plaza in 2012, PVDFest in 2015 was supported by that, and it's allowed us to bring together civic and cultural partners to think this time about the future and the transformation, the mayor mentioned the transformative effects of the festival, of the Armory. Other core partners on Sunday include Community Music Works, celebrating their 20th anniversary, the RISD Museum with installations in box trucks, mini armories, West Broadway Neighborhood Association, and the state of Rhode Island. It really demonstrates the need and the power of federal funding joining with community and city and state support. Later this afternoon, some of us will go to the State House to recognize the 50th anniversary of RISCA, Rhode Island State Council for the Arts, and we congratulate them and appreciate the many PVDFest participants who are supported by RISCA, artists, arts organizations, individual artists. So today we're standing at the foot of a new stage for PVDFest, and for one of the most significant FirstWorks the festival has developed to date. Thanks to the owners of 10 Dorrance and Upserve, this Providence high-rise behind us is the centerpiece for both Friday and Saturday. The amazing vertical dance pioneers from Oakland, California, Bandaloop, will turn 10 Dorrance into a dance floor, and even more importantly than that pretty spectacular thing, is that it brings about a transformation in our perception of our urban landscape. As the streets are closed to pedestrians and a building becomes a stage, it's really amazing. We're committed to connecting art with audiences at FirstWorks, but also to forging deep relationships between artists and some of the most significant artists of our time. Bandaloop, two of whom hail from Rhode Island, have developed a relationship with our city, come to know our artists, And that began in 2012 with their first project. And there have been about 2 years of discussing a hyper-local, world-traveling collaboration. Sharing his love for the city of Providence is spoken word poetry artist Christopher Johnson. And he's a tour de force of poetry and theater and activism. His work with First Works dates back to our beginnings in 2004. So it's my pleasure now to welcome Vanderloop's founder and artistic director, Amelia Rudolph. She possesses an extraordinary artistic vision, and it's coupled with a deep commitment to community collaborations. From joining us at the Southside Cultural Center for a Community Flavors Dinner, to talking yesterday right here with 150 students from Providence schools, to welcoming Providence's own Christopher Johnson to the Oakland studios of Vanderloop, to all the work that has been happening from the ground to the rooftop with her company. Please welcome Amelia Rudolph.
Thanks, Kathleen. She said some of what I was going to say, but I'm going to say add to it. So Vanderloop for 26 years has been asking what dance can do. I'm a climber and a dancer who decided to put those worlds together. And in doing so, we've ended up dancing on cliffs all over the world, skyscrapers, buildings, the back of a parking garage, a water tower in Soweto that never held water for children. We have learned so much about the world and communities by going to them and dancing on their buildings. But more important than the work, I think, or as important than the art, the grace, the courage, the beauty that the dancers possess as they dance on architecture and in theaters, and in doing so inspire both grown-ups, old, our elders, mid-generation, and young people coming up to think in a new way. As important as that is this new piece, Public Canvas. Several years ago, I decided that it would be really interesting to see how to give up some control as an artist and see what happens if you invite local artists who are not doing what we do into one of our performances. When Vanderloop dances on a building, we kind of serve as an amplifier. People come in, oh my God, what are they doing? They're dancing on a building. We draw people in. I was wondering what would happen if we drew people in and allowed community members to be part of what ends up happening. So here in Providence, we did Public Canvas in San Francisco last year in the Tenderloin, which is a very contentious area of San Francisco for many reasons. And we had a lot of artists contribute work to that show, including the amazing spoken word artist and singer Tatiana Willis, who we brought with us here, and you will see her as part of the show. Here in Providence, I asked Kathleen, who's somebody like Tatiana Willis? And she said, Christopher Johnson. So he came out to Oakland. We worked together. I taught him a few tricks that you will see during the show, not today, but during the show, that are quite amazing. His commitment to trying something new is really wonderful to see. But I came out here for a town hall meeting. We went to the Southside Cultural Center for this Community Flavors Dinner, which I'd never done something quite like that before. I love the storytelling and eating. I learned so much about, although you call it Southside, Westside, and Armory District, I'm confused, but that area of town, people who'd lived there 40 years, people who had just moved in, and all their stories that came forward. Some of those stories, many of those stories, and some of those words are now incorporated into the poetry and spoken word of Queen G, who will also be performing with us. She's a local singer and spoken word artist, and Muffin. And these spoken word that they will bring to the show is a way of grounding this show here in Providence. You will hear and see reflected in that show your own identity or parts of it, and stories and themes and dreams and issues. And this is a way for Vanderloop to do something different and take a chance. And it's a risk artistically, honestly, because I never know how it's going to be. This might be a good time to send the dancers onto the wall. I thought what I would do is, first of all, I want to say a couple things. One, the Arttown NEA grant that brought us here in 2012 really helped initiate a relationship with Providence. and it has brought us back here today. But last time we performed on a huge skyscraper. This time we're bringing you much more intimate work. You'll be able to see the dancers sweat. You'll see their eyes when they look at each other. When they come in on the wall and adjust their device, you can see it all this time, and it's a much more intimate show. It is also kind of culturally more intimate because we are collaborating with locals who are speaking to your own identity, who you are as a city. So that's very exciting for me as an artist. So without further ado, because I can't hold your attention when they're on the wall, I'm going to sign off and let the dancers speak for themselves. Please enjoy to the music of Ben Univakis and Gideon Freudman, the Bandaloop dancers.
Thank you.